Sometimes boating can be an adventure, especially if you decide to get sideways in the surf, but I only recommend adventure boating if you do it in a smart way, and unfortunately, as you already know, we're not going to witness that. Welcome back, crew, to this week's episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. Adventure boating really can be a fun and interesting way to get out there on the water. It's definitely a whole lot more interesting than, let's say, just going to the sandbar. But if you're gonna get out there and do that adventure boating lifestyle, definitely need to do it in a smart way and know what you're doing before you get involved, because if not, things will get out of hand pretty quickly. Now, of course, there are many different ways to do adventure boating. Sometimes you'll own a boat, get out there on a river, other times you'll just work on the boat and go ahead and go for a swim. I'm confused on this one though. My man's got a hat on, a shirt on, sneakers on. Why do it fully dressed? And then of course there's South Florida, where adventure boating's a lifestyle. I mean, every time you're out there on the water, it's kind of like this, almost like a trailer for the video game Grand Theft Auto. But nope, it's just a Wednesday in Miami. And of course, if you think Wednesdays are wild in Miami, just wait till you get to the weekend. You never know what you're gonna see then. This is actually secondary footage of the boat that flipped on the river this past weekend. If you guys didn't see that incident, go back and watch Boating News from Wednesday. We've got the full story over there. And speaking of incidents from last week, looks like we got Lamborghini Yacht 2.0 going on right here. That story was on Boating News as well. Now, our next boater we're going to feature might be the most adventurous boater we've witnessed so far in this episode, because I'll tell you what, playing chicken with a cargo ship takes a whole lot bigger stones than I have, or, well, maybe a much smaller brain than most of us have.
It has to move, because that big guy is going to run his ass over.
Now, at first I thought maybe he's having mechanical trouble, maybe there's some issue that we don't know about, but I have to imagine if that was the case, they would be on the radio, letting everybody know, and maybe one of these police boats would assist with a tow. But as you see, once the police vessels get close to him, he starts to get ready to move. I'm not sure what he was thinking here. Maybe he thought, oh, I'm here, I've got the right-of-way, but I'll tell you what, there's no right-of-way in this situation. That ship is taking you down. I'm not gonna lie, this really is about as close as it gets, and again, this ship was stopping for nothing, even if it wanted to at the point in time where they're getting away from it here. There was no stopping this situation without that boat getting out of the way. What do you think really happened there? Let me know in the comments. Speaking of close calls, nothing like renting a couple boats, having no clue what we're doing on them, but let's go ahead and see just exactly how close we can bring the boats together out there in the middle of the waterway. Always sounds like a fun time, but if you're renting a boat, I would not recommend that. Speaking of renting things, nothing like renting some time on a boat. With a chartered captain, you think life's gonna be easy with that until you realize this is the situation you have to deal with to get on that boat. Honestly, I'm probably skipping that charter, and I'm also probably skipping this adventure as well. I gotta imagine this crew's being towed out because they're under some sort of power here, and the waves finally lift them up, and you can see the line kind of coming off the bow. But I think if one of my friends asked, hey, you want to join me while we tow this thing? I'd probably pass, and I'd be the guy filming from the beach. Now, of course, not all adventures in boating are bad. Sometimes those things go just perfect. Now here's one unique way to go adventure boating, and that's trying to pull a 20,000 pound boat out on a trailer that's only rated for 15,000.
Oh, this is great.
So they've already lost all the tires, the trailer is flexing like crazy. How long do you think they make it before an axle gives out? Let me know in the comments. While we're waiting on an axle to give out on this one, it always reminds me that we're talking about boating in general and things give out all the time. We're dealing with water and harsh marine environments, and you know, you always got to make sure that all your stuff's in tip-top shape. The last thing you want to do is lose $1 million boat because you didn't maintain something. Now, you won't always lose your $1 million vessel just because you didn't maintain something. Sometimes you'll wind up losing your $1 million vessel because you weren't paying attention. When you're out on the water, always got to keep that head on a swivel and look out for anything. You never know when something might pop up out of nowhere. And then, of course, you always need to know who you're going out on the water with. You never know when your buddy Timmy says, hey, come on, we're going to go camping on the boat for the night, that he might literally take that seriously and put it in the woods. Have you ever heard of the movie Edward Scissorhands? I guess they're making a remake called Kathleen Propfoot. Now, this might be the grossest version of adventure boating. This crew's out enjoying a day of boating at what appears to be some sort of festival. For whatever reason, though, every boat that comes under the bridge, well, is getting dripped on. And they can't figure out why. I mean, it's a dry day other than this, but these crews are not going to be happy once they realize exactly what is going on and why they are getting dripped on, as it's not going to be a fun experience. And you can see many people understanding the smell, realizing that something's just a little off, and all of a sudden realizing they need to get out of this situation. But whatever city that's in probably should reconsider that situation and consider something a little more like this. But this also might make you reconsider eating fish caught around a tower. Now, adventure boating doesn't have to end when you pull the boat out of the water. There are plenty of ways to light it up after you're done boating as well. Now, of course, most of the time when you think about adventure boating, you're going to think about you being out there on your boat, having an adventure, enjoying a day on the water. But sometimes your boat will choose to have an adventure without you, kind of like we're about to witness here as the motor yacht Claire winds up blowing through a no-wake zone at a marina, and well, several boats decide they're gonna have a little party time and a little action of their own without anybody on board, just like we see here as this law enforcement vessel winds up taking a pounding into the back of the dock after the motor yacht blows through the no-wake zone. And not only that, many other vessels do the same, as we see here as there's another yacht that winds up taking a beating as well. So you never know when your boat decides it's gonna have a little fun without you, but you always better make sure you got plenty of fenders and plenty of lines out, just in case the motor yacht Claire decides to come visit you as well. Now, of course, it's not just the motor yacht Claire we have to worry about. It happens a little bit everywhere, just like we see this vessel doing the same thing. If you look off to the left, that's actually a marina up there under that bridge with about 50 to 60 boats in it, where this vessel decided it was going to go ahead and blow through that no-wake zone as well. And right here's another shipping yard where they actually do pullouts of other vessels. As you can see from the dock, they're kicking up a pretty good size wake. So again, always make sure your boat is secure, because you never know when it's going to have an adventure without you. Thanks for watching, crew. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening out on your waterways, be sure to hit us up on Facebook or Instagram at Broncos Guru and let us know, and you might see your stories over here. Just like Captain Bobby 85, Make It Adam 80, Captain Big Pete 561, Michelle Robinson McGee, NZ Inflatable Jets, Adam Coolidge, Picasso West, and Mark McKinney did this week. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here. If not, we're coming to steal your drain plug.